What's up, Inconceivable fitness friends and family? That's enough being weird for today. Just kidding. We have another great workout. This time it's going to be 2 rounds for time of 4 different movements, and there's going to be a cardio buy-in before each round. So basically, before you get started, you're going to do either 50 jumping jacks, about a 150-meter run, or a 200-meter rower if you happen to have one of those, and then you're going to go into 20 slams with a dumbbell of some sort, 20 goblet squats, 20 forward hop over an object, and then 20 reverse lunges. I'm not memorizing that. My brain's not that good. I'm reading it, of course. We're going to go over all of those movements, of course, before we get into them, give you some scaling options. First things first, let's get warmed up. So count to 30 with a jogging place. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. So the next thing we're going to do is high knees. So you want to get those knees above the waistline. And if you're feeling comfortable, we're going to run it out like this. If you need to step it out, go ahead and step it out. We're going to get 30 of those again. I'm going to count these off, so ready to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 29 and 30. All right. Up next is butt kicks. So I'll show you a couple from the side. The important thing I want to do is try to keep my quads facing down. So I don't want to find myself actually doing another high knee here. I want to really pull the foot backwards up to the glute. So just like this. You notice I'm trying to keep the knees facing down, chest in line here. So we get 30 of those. 1, 2. You can place your hands as a target if you like. We'll call that roughly 15. 6, 8, 9, and 30. All right, next is jumping jacks. So full jumping jack is, of course, you're gonna jump out, clap the hands together at the top, and then hands down to the side at the bottom. If you have shoulder issues, you can adjust that range of motion. You can go with one arm. You can even go with a step out option if you want to really slow things down here. You can alternate arms, that kind of thing. So 30 of these. 1, 2, 4. Halfway. 25. And 30. All right. So we got the cardio going a little bit. Now we're going to do some air squats, work on that squat form. So what you want to do is have those feet just outside of hip width apart, toes pointed slightly outwards. And the first thing we want to do is start with the hips going back and keeping your chest up. We're going to start to squat down and reach parallel here. Notice how my chest stays up. And then first thing I'm going to do is start pressing through those feet, straighten out the hips, and the chest comes tall. So we want to get, 10 of those here. I'll show you from the front this time. Count with me. Here comes 1. Nice and easy. If you need to put your arms out for balance, you can do that. 2, 3. So I'm making sure that my knees aren't going out like this, because that puts me on my toes, loads the knees and ankles and back. I'm staying with the weight in the full foot, keeping those knees pretty much right out over the toes. I have no idea where I'm at. I think this is, what, 6? We'll just go ahead and finish them out here. 7, 8. Keep those knees out as well. 9 and 10. Right here. And when I say keep the knees out, what I mean is we want to make sure they don't buckle in when you push upwards, especially when we start getting some weights. A lot of times the knees tend to come in like this. We want to make sure to keep outwards. So after our squats, we're going to do, what do we have here? some overhead press, get a nice light weight. I'm gonna warm up those arms a little bit. And we're just gonna practice. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the midline, the chest, the core, and we're gonna really isolate those arms, finishing with the biceps tall by the ears. We're not forward, we're not too far back. We're just stacked in a straight line. We're gonna get 10 of these. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. The next thing is going to be reverse lunges. So in the workout, we're going to have the weights overhead, but for now, just go ahead and hold your weights by your side. Give that reverse lunge. Make sure you're stepping out sideways a little bit so that you have stability. And just start lunging with me. If you step too straight back, it's really easy to lose your balance. So make sure you're giving yourself a wide stance. You get a 90-degree angle in the front knee, 90 degrees in the back, just tapping that back knee on the ground. We get a few more here. One more each side. Good. So that is it for the warm-up session. Actually, I had some stretches in there, so go ahead and stretch your shoulders with me. Since we are going overhead, I want to make sure you're nice and loose. Just a brief 10 to 12 seconds on each side. Next side now. Notice how I pull my shoulders back and then down. So I'm not hunching up like this. Back and down. Really feeling it in the front there. All right, and onto a quad stretch. So try to keep that knee pointed down rather than pulling out to the side like this. And that's going to help you also stretch the hip flexor in the front. 10, 11, 12. Other side there. Same thing, trying to keep the leg pointed straight down towards the ground so you can stretch the quad and the hip flexor. If you want a more intense stretch, just pull farther up on that foot there. All right. Well, that's it for the warm-up for real now. So we're gonna go over these movements. For the cardio buy-in, 50 jumping jacks, just like we did in our warm-up here, you wanna make sure that you're touching the arms at the top, or at least getting your feet out wide and leaving the ground every time. So whether it's a full jumping jack like this, or you're taking the arms out, or you're stepping, just make sure we're getting 50 continuous movement there for 50 reps. If you're running, it's roughly 150 meters. You want to be out there for between 45 seconds to a minute, probably closer to 45 seconds. It's not meant to be a long cardio session. And then for the row, same thing, 200 meters here. Hopefully that's going to take me less than a minute each time. So we'll see how that goes. Not a lot of pointers to give you on running. Make sure that you're picking up the feet fully here, pulling those legs up. A lot of times we get into this issue where we're kind of dragging the feet. Just run with intention, I guess, is the best way I can tell you quickly. First movement is going to be 20 dumbbell slams. So if you're on the grass, you can grab a dumbbell and we're gonna come overhead and then slam it down to the ground. You probably don't want to do that on concrete or in your house. So some options are, you can either do like an overhead swing, or we're just coming down like this, getting the weight from the waist to overhead. You can do some clusters where you're coming from the ground. Sorry, clusters are this. Coming from the ground, squat and press, ground, squat and press, or even just some clean and jerk to take the squat out of it. Basically, we want to get a weight from the ground up to overhead. So after that, we're gonna have goblet squats. I'm gonna use my slam ball here. Goblet squats, you wanna hold a weight in front of you and make sure that you keep it close and tight and keep those arms underneath it there so that when you go down to squat, you can use it as a counterbalance to help you keep that chest tall. You don't want it pulling you forward. You want to use that as a counterbalance so you can get even deeper. Keep those knees out wide. Squat to parallel. If you see from the front, I'm keeping those arms underneath this thing. If I'm too far out here, it's hard to hold. Just keeping them underneath. and then squatting all the way to full depth. If you have a dumbbell, I like to hold it this way. You can hold it this way, whatever you feel comfortable with. The next is going to be forward hop over. So I'm going back to my slam ball here. And really we're going to practice the full hip extension to hop over an object, turn around, hop the other way. Pretty straightforward. If hopping's not working for you, you can go 1 foot at a time. You can even do step overs. As long as you're moving and it's comfortable for you, you're just practicing getting over an object. And then after that, single arm overhead reverse lunge. So what that looks like here is I would go over the foot that's going backwards. So if you want to do maybe 5, then switch, you can do that. If you want to go really crazy, you can hold 2 overheads if you're looking to like RX plus it, but this does call for single arm. So what you can do also is maybe come up, lunge, switch, lunge, switch. Switching overhead can be difficult, so make sure you're doing it safely with a light weight. I really recommend doing like 10 on one side, switching the weight, going to 10 on the other. But if you want to practice a few of these, just make sure the same points. We want to step out slightly and then hit 90 degrees in the front leg, 90 in the back, and then stand up tall. So that's it for the movements. Go ahead and reach out to your coach, text us, call us, whatever you got to do if you have questions on scaling. To warm up, go ahead and get 1 round of maybe 10 jumping jacks, a quick small little run, and then 6 reps of each of the movements for a warm-up round. And then come on back for the next video, and we're going to film the workout. Let's do it.